civilised manner they would like. They're creating lawlessness. The fact that we've got murders on the streets. Now, we in the National Front don't know of all the murders that take place in this country every week. We do know of quite a few, most of which are not reported. In Burntoke last week, there was an elderly man stabbed to death by a black. Looked in the local paper this week, it didn't happen. There was a Jewish girl and another woman raped by a foreigner in Mill Hill. Not reported, didn't happen. I can think of probably one of my customer's sons and his friend was murdered in Graham Park 7 or 8 years ago, not reported. I can think of numerous instances of our people being murdered that haven't been reported. There's a family that takes a flame. The daughter works at the police college in Hendon, which incidentally is run by 2 blacks. And I was informed that a young man had been stabbed to death waiting at a bus stop in Graham Park, but I wouldn't hear about it, and I didn't. There was someone shot at the shops in Dingsbrook Road, and only the people standing there at the time knew anything about it, but the body was whispered about and it didn't happen. And it's all part of the genocide programme. And I've got backbones back in the hospitals. You know, we've got super bugs in the hospitals, and it only takes some soap and water and some detergent to clean the bloody thing up. But no, it's not happening. Because, and the propaganda put to our young girls that it's the instinct of a black on their arms. And the black thinks he's smart, you know, I've got one little girl, what are you going to do about it? In the old colonial days, you'd be taken out with a bullet for a start. But today, it's the in thing. I don't know, drove down the other day, I see white girls out of Spades, who have a much lower IQ level. But that's all surprise. I'm old enough to remember when television first came out, the old black and white BBC. 54, 55. The Armand and Michaela Dent programs, where they went into Africa with their black and white cameras and photographed the primitive tribesmen, the pygmies, and the rest of the primitive natives who had not got beyond the Stone Age. Such pictures are not put before the British public because they're supposed to be equal to us. In fact, more equal to us because their culture is drowning our house. And they're put on a pedestal. The Black Rat, which is talking about killing us and raping our women, is coming out of our radios. Even my daughter, we've got this trash coming out of the radio, and she doesn't even realise it. So, we have got a lot to do. We've got to put in a lot of effort. We want ideas, how to push the party forward. I personally find direct action, directly talking to people works best. If you could talk to your workmates, your friends, your neighbours, your relatives, and try and self-reflect and talk to them and to encourage them to stand on their own feet. And not to lose their job, because the BNP schoolmaster's lost his job because he stood for the BNP. This country is becoming more like the Soviet Union every week. We're all under surveillance. Which isn't surprising because the EU was created by the same people who brought into being the Soviet Union, which was brought about by the New York's Jewish community, who founded, directed and brought about the Russian Revolution. The EU is, well, it was basically that those in power were well governed, and they wanted a total Europe under control of themselves. They wanted to unite the Soviet Union and so-called Free Europe, Western Europe. And they wouldn't persuade us to join the Soviet Union, so they decided to do it the other way around. They socialised Western Europe with all the socialist communist governments, whether they be Labour, Liberal, Tory, or communists. And now, one by one, they're bringing back the old Soviet countries into the EU, and they've got their enlarged Soviet Union. So we can't just sit about and let the grass grow under our feet, because it is becoming more like a Soviet Union every day. They are frightened of us. They don't want the truth to come out, because if people realise just how evil our politicians are, they will be out very, very quickly. So I'll end there, but I just say I'd like everyone to do their utmost and to bring other people into the party, to come up with ideas and to really put a lot of effort in to make this year a year of growth for the party, so we really make headway. We haven't got the number of candidates we'd like. Finances are a big problem. Oh, I just mentioned why finances are a big problem. When they drew up the plan in 1886 for the destruction of European civilization, they said that at the time of the Great Change, which is now, where we're flooded with foreigners and we're losing national governments, national power become part of international grouping, that's the time of great change, it will be necessary to create an ill-disciplined rabble, because a disciplined, organised people would mobilise against us, which is why since 1960 in comprehensive education the children have become little babbers, ill-disciplined, taught to do what they like, no respect for the authority of their elders. And they also said, but of course there will be those who would move against us. Therefore, we will bring about a situation where they'll be on a financial treadmill, where the cost of money is to stay in bed, which we've got to do. We know from our own experience that if you look at the National Fund 25 years ago, you could get far more in your collection than because people have money over at the end of the week. Now everybody's chasing bills and behind with their payments. So that's one of the problems that we've got. But nevertheless, let's be optimistic and let's make this a great year of growth for the party.
Well, I've got a couple of more things to say. I just, when Bernard mentioned about the Bilderbergers, I wrote a book in the 70s when I joined the front. Now, I'm not sure if you all know about Bilderbergers, but very recently, I just happened to see a couple of people that attending their meeting. There was a lovely chap called Peter Mandelson. Yeah, lovely slime bag. But this is the good one. Now, who also attended their meetings? We had a guy called John Monks, right? The TUC chairman. Now, this particular wonderful man, was a fanatic for the EU, you know. He wanted us in, he wanted us to get rid of our currency and everything else. And then I just happened to read, he attended the Bilderberger conference in bloody Zurich or somewhere. And I thought, well, that's a big surprise, you know. So this is what we're up against. Now, I think Tom Holmes probably still have the old books with him, the Bilderbergers, yeah. So I was just, get one of our papers, contact Tom Holmes, because he's got all the old nationalist books in there, and just read about this lovely organisation. It's still very prevalent at the moment, and you'd be surprised who's actually in it. And when you find out who's in it, you think, oh my God, you know, all the crap of the earth's in it, you know, all the traders of the earth. So I mentioned that a little bit. By the way, nobody's going to get their heads on these photographs, by the way, because everybody's a bit worried about it. So you shut your legs. You don't even need that, you know. Before I bring in Jim, because we're not going to have a break, I'm just going to carry on with there's a couple of flags up there, or at least one. Now, he's got a beer, that gentleman over there. The blue one with the flag, the Union Jack on it, does anybody know what that one is?
Organs.
Oh, who got that first? I think it's a bit right, yeah. What about that one over there? Right, yeah, who said you brought that first? Oh, you can't have it, you've already got one. Who said second there? You go there all the time, anyway. Who came second there? Yeah, I'll let that one go then. Well, so anyway, these are all mixed flags, and apparently, was it 20 years? 30?